This is my last day at the Disney World theme parks for a while. Second trip back to Epcot. This is an afternoon. It's almost 4 p.m. Mike convinced me to come back here, but we'll see how crowded it is. It doesn't look promising in the parking lot. So you wish to know why I'm worried about how crowded it'll be in the parks? Well, we're almost to the entrance now, but you can see some of the cars out there. It's pretty much every spot full here in the afternoon, so we'll see what it looks like. So it seems we parked much further back than you normally would during this time, which makes me think maybe they've moved on to a new phase, making it even more crowded. Here's a look as we walk up to our temperature checks. We'll let you know what this looks like as we make our way in, and then we'll show you once we're back inside. Now stepping into Epcot, you can see what the crowds look like just inside at the main entrance as we make our way to the attractions. One thing I didn't think of walking through the parking lot today is an especially hot day, so in the future I'm gonna have to consider wearing a hat. I'm even wearing shorts here, the rare short sighting of Dave. Oh my gosh, like what, second time ever? So I was stopped by the temperature checks for a second check. They noticed that since I'd been out in the sun that I was very hot, and it takes 45 seconds to a minute for you to cool down. So they sat me in front of a fan, cooled down for about a minute, and they checked me again, and then I was good to go. Very interesting. I'd never been through that process, but good to know that you can actually heat up to those levels just being out in the sun. So I think wearing a hat could definitely help with that in the future. Yeah, I feel like this is one of the hottest days I've been out for in a really long time. Maybe all summer, maybe even last summer, honestly. I feel like this is one of the hottest. So, and the mask does make it hotter, so the shorts help make up for the mask. So if you weren't already wearing jeans, I don't know what to tell you. Shorter shorts, booty shorts. As we are making our way in, hopefully plenty of people are making their way out, maybe? So definitely looks like there's plenty of people walking in this direction. Maybe we came at the right time, or maybe we came a little bit too early. Continuing up to see if Garden Grill has any availability. And of course on our right, Nemo, a great attraction. Maybe we'll make our way back to later. But again, it's gonna depend on those crowds, at least for me. Join us on the approach to the Land Pavilion. Making our way inside, left and right, around the crowds. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh. Back in the Land Pavilion, and want to give you an idea of what the groups around us look like. You can see it looks better than it did outside in terms of number of people, but there's still quite a few, so we'll see how this ends up going for us. Again, less crowded than outside, but it's also kind of a seated area near the middle of the park. So this is what it looks like here. Getting a couple cups of water here for us by Garden Grill. They have kind of a setup. You tell them where you're going and they direct you to it. They pour it out for you. I like it. After a good few cups of water here by the Seasons restaurant, we're talking about maybe going to
Primo Piatto. Yeah.
Thinking it might be a little bit less crowded there. The food there is fantastic. You can eat midday, so you don't have to worry about reservations. Good quick service for lunch. And we're gonna enjoy some great food. I haven't really eaten too much there, so I'm looking forward to it. We're on our way out of the Land Pavilion. Back into that sunlight. I can't tell you how much I've actually appreciated the AC in the land here today. For me, don't usually feel like I need it, but I'm telling you, really hot out. The mask, I'm sure, doesn't help. It seems to me the crowds have just about doubled from last week when I made a video about the crowds and how crowded it was and how I felt kind of uncomfortable then. So it's definitely on the very crowded side for me. This may be my last any kind of day in the Disney parks until the current climate kind of eases up, but we'll see. And that amount of time I may be out of the parks might be a little bit longer than anticipated based on a trip I have coming up and other special events. Stepping into World Showcase, making that transition point from earlier in the park into the showcase so we can catch those gondolas. Still that nice music playing, and I think Mike noticed a blimp there in the distance. I don't know if you can see that, kind of right behind the peak of this building. So much to see and appreciate on this day. Now passing Starbucks as we make a right turn here. A little bit more crowded by the entrances of the World Showcase, but we heard as we make our way in, it should be a little bit less crowded. That being said, taking a sneak preview on my right, doesn't really look that way. Passing Canada, well, the refreshment port, quite honestly, on our right. heading towards Canada. Hello. Parade now heading our way. We're looking for a spot to watch it and be out of the way. So let's figure that piece out.
Yeah, looking good. Yeah.
All right. Mickey and Minnie's ride.
Thank you.
Love it. And the crowds following the parade, of course. Mike pointed out you can see Riviera right back there. Hopefully it'll be as crowded as this lake. Think it'll be as crowded as this lake? Okay. Making our way towards England, almost to our destination. Mike, how are you feeling about the crowds today? Are they similar to last time we were here, or is it just me that they're like double?
It's a bit more crowded. A bit more crowded than we've seen before. You know, these passageways, that's always the harder bit when it comes to crowds at Disney.
That makes sense. So making our way through it, but it does seem that those crowd volumes are ramping up here in August. Watch as we traverse the crowds ahead. It does seem like we have this right walking wing, but it's really interesting how it seems like we're going against the crowds a lot of the time. It's kind of cool, I guess. Okay, Epcot, it's been a fun one. We'll see you on the way back, but now towards the Riviera. So you know my thoughts on the parks and the crowds right now, but to each their own. Everyone should do what they enjoy, and some people might love the parks right now, some people might enjoy staying at home or somewhere in the middle. But my thoughts are, for me personally, it's a little bit too crowded. Mike, how do you feel about the crowds in the parks?
Right now, I think the crowds are on the intense side, no doubt about it. It really comes down, again, as you mentioned, the personal decision. If it feels right for you, absolutely, by all means. It's lower crowds than it would be this time of year without the global situation, no doubt about it. But for others, maybe this is a little bit too intense in terms of crowds. It may be resorts best for you, or some other experience, you know, outside of that somewhere at Disney. So it does depend on personal preference, no doubt about it. But for me right now, I like the resorts, exploring them right now. I feel like it's a really good time for it.
Welcome back to the Riviera. Such a different feel in terms of those crowd levels. Sure, exiting right now is a little bit on the more trafficy side, but out there in the big blue Riviera world looks nice, which is nice. We're gonna enjoy some delicious foods. This might just mean a little bit more meal times to enjoy in the next few days here, as opposed to those theme parks. And as you know, with my adventures coming up, that would make it a little bit challenging for me to be able to go back to the theme parks anytime soon. So this will be most likely, if not 100%, my last visit to the theme parks for a long time. It seems night and day to me crowd-wise. A nice way to enjoy some time. Mike, how do you feel about being back?
100% love it. I've been so many times the past couple of days. It's just like constantly the Riviera, and I love it. I mean, it does not get old to me. And this, the low crowd part, that's the biggest factor right now.
It really is. Take a look at the mobile menu here. A lot of delicious sounding options. I'm going for that bacon cheddar burger. I think Mike is maybe going for this spicy Italian sandwich, but I don't recall. And their breakfast menu looks fantastic as well. Take a look. You've got croque madame and lemon blueberry pancakes. All kinds of great stuff to try someday, I'm sure. Take a look at this bacon cheddar burger with the kind of cheese and herb fries, so the special fries. I like how they do that here, kind of special thing for you to enjoy some Italian flavoring. It does look like a juicy one. We'll see. Mike has the hot Italian sandwich. Let's give this one a shot. And the tiny tiramisu here. Look at this little thing. It's like my palm can easily cover over the whole thing. Tiny, but it'll be good, I'm sure. Overall, the burger was good. One of my favorite things about the burger was the brioche bun. I feel like it was soft and buttery, unlike many other burger buns, and I appreciated that. The hamburger meat was also plentiful, and the bacon was delicious and crispy. However, I did feel that the extra sauce was necessary, so make sure you ask for extra garlic mayonnaise. It added a substantial bit. It even has a little bit of a lemon hint on it. I like how they've made their own kind of custom flavors here. As for the fries, I didn't love the fries. I normally like certain types of cheese. I'm just not sure that was my kind of cheese on those fries. I always like cheesy fries, but it was more of a less my kind of cheese fry. Overall, I thought the food here at Primo Piatto was quite good, but I'm looking forward to trying new menu items next time. First experience at Primo Piatto maybe gets a 7 for me. 7 sounds pretty good, or maybe a 7.5, but there are so many blow-you-away style delicious restaurants at Disney. It's not the top tier for me. So for example, the burger does not sit above my top 3 or my top 5 burgers. It might be in the top 10 though. Tiramisu is not bad. I've had a series of different tiramisus in the past, and I've had some great ones. So I wouldn't call it my favorite tiramisu, but if you are a big tiramisu fan, you might like it. I personally am probably more likely to go for those cake pops. I loved that cake pop from the Food and Wine Festival. Big, juicy cake deliciousness. But again, it depends what you like. Mike, what did you think of your sandwich and the tiramisu?
I thought the sandwich was really good. Tiramisu was good, but not my all-time favorite. I could see myself getting the sandwich again, probably not the tiramisu, and I would probably get the croque monsieur over the Italian, but still, everything that I've had here, Primo Piatto, has been outstanding. That's me.
So when I return to Primo Piatto, probably trying a different dish, maybe the croque monsieur. We both talked about that being good. Mike's had that before. Great flavors. And I'd probably pass on the tiramisu just because there's so many great dessert options out there, and I try to minimize my sugar. Now to enjoy the Rivieran Great Outdoors. Yeah, here we are. Let's do it. The blimp a little closer to us now as we're sitting back, relaxing. Off in the distance, right around there-ish, maybe you can see the blimp floating, but really love, just sit back, relax, and enjoy this view here at the Riviera. Really a nice spot. Lots of time just kicking back and relaxing on that beachfront here at Riviera. Now making our way back inside to figure out what the rest of the night might hold. There are so many great spots at the Riviera to sit back and enjoy relaxing, and this is just another one of them, with these blue chairs, kind of the sofa loungers, and a beautiful view of the resort, and this bocce ball court and the pool behind us. Now the resorts are starting to get a bit busier. My guess is maybe with some of those parks like Hollywood Studios closing, maybe that's why we're seeing kind of this influx of resort guests. But now, making our way back towards the gondolas, perhaps, to get back to Epcot. Now on the gondolas on the way back to Epcot. Love this view, love this sunset, and especially now having our own space in the gondola is fantastic. The view of Hollywood Studios on our left, you can see the Tower of Terror, Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, some construction over here on the right with the Swan and Dolphin, just beautiful views all around. Another perk I really love about the gondolas, one of my favorite forms of transportation at Disney, I feel like, at this point. Back in the parks at 8 p.m. There's still people. It's less, I think, maybe than it was earlier today, which is nice. But it reminds me more of the last time we were here, last week, I believe. Mike, would you equate these crowds to similar to last time we were here?
I would say yes, in terms of last Epcot day together, yes, I would. So 7 o'clock, no, 8 o'clock, thank you, 8 o'clock.
So 8 o'clock now looks like 4 o'clock did last week, I feel like. So that's where we're at. So now we're stepping inside the World Show Place to see how crowded it is in here. Hopefully we'll be able to grab some food, not have to worry about the crowds, but we'll see what it looks like. Now in World Show Place, here's what it looks like today. I don't know, reminds me a bit of what it looked like noonish that day. We got some food in here. You can see, again, always love the decorations in here, but it does seem more on the crowded side. Here at a table, just looking at the sights, considering the cake pops, possibly no cake pops, just looking at everything going on around. And it's nice to take a little break as you're walking through the park, especially with a mask on. Take a stop in the shade, grab some water, relax. Those midday breaks, you know, at a resort or otherwise can be nice with the extra heat, with the extra mask. Just enjoying the views. And the blimp seems to be following us as we just kind of kick back, relax, and check out this perspective. Checking out a couple of merch shops as we're walking around Epcot here looking for the Haunted Mansion mask. Mouse Gear does seem to be the least crowded of the 3 stores. Allows us to enjoy, peruse some items, but there's still some people around. Always love these decorations here as we're preparing for the Guardians of the Galaxy attraction. Should be such a fun one when the time comes, but not yet. And that concludes today's adventure. Thanks so much for being a part of the fun with me here today. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell to stay informed of future adventures. Looking forward to so many more I'm sharing with you. Maybe not theme park ones, but so many more. Until next time, play on. What may be a last look at the Epcot Ball at Spaceship Earth on the way out. Getting a cup of water here. Thank you.
Have a good day.
And you as well. Mike has the cold Italian sandwich. And it's nice to take a little break